specifically for my Trent for Governor platform, Trent and Garmin here, I did want to cover corporate municipal courts and some of the basis that I have for what I find to be a necessary executive order is that these municipal courts, if they're going to issue an arrest warrant on anything that's not involving a crime, pretext is typically an FTA, but they need to go to the county and have a magistrate issue. The reason is now being 45 years old, honorable discharge vet, I successfully ran a law firm, moderately successfully ran a car business. I just kind of had my license on the side, didn't really lose any money or make any money, so maybe wasn't successful, but I maintained my bond, didn't get cheated and didn't cheat anybody. Ran a church successfully, multiple churches, and been in student government and also done things as a political consultant. But this is an example. This young lady is so sweet, and she has no idea of the hell that I've had to go through because of bad domestic situation. And then I maintain bad laws. If no victim is involved, there's no crime. And so the miscategorization of law and then the abuse of something that's not criminal and subsequent punishment treatment as if it is criminal is causing a major problem in America, huge problem. Well, our president was accused of committing a crime because of the miscategorization of law. So I do think this is a payment plan on a ticket. Now, I got a ticket for not having an up-to-date tag. I was driving a church car. The vehicle was given to me by my church. I could not get it titled because it was an old lady's car. And so in the midst of figuring out that I couldn't title for selling, I got pulled over going from one church to another and issued a ticket on a Sunday morning. Okay. I also had my vehicle towed. So in these people's mind, they're doing nothing but following law, but it's a taxation. I don't know if they can see that. There's no one to compensate for crime because there was no crime. There's no one that suffered a loss or a damage, so there's no need for consequential damages or fine or restoration. They literally towed my vehicle at $300 because of a sticker not being there. I'm an honorably discharged vet going to church. Then I had to show up in court. They took my gummies, which I used for pain, did not return my gummies. So that makes that municipal officer a thief because I asked him in court, I was legal gummies you can return. He wouldn't return it because he's malum prohibits. He's categorizing his faith as a law. Okay. So they violated really the moral law of not working on Sunday, bore false witness and theft. And here I'm paying on a ticket. So that I don't know if that equates with people who work for the government or still do work for the government, but you only have so much time in a day. And if you're not on a system by way of revenue or income and you're entrepreneurial, you cannot waste and dilly-dally your time. So those are some of the interactions that I don't think you, the government class, bureautics, if you're not serving people, actually understand and appreciate. Ms. Casey's been very sweet the whole time. Peace be with you, no problem. 414 to left now to pay for a sticker just because I happen to be driving through Argo. I'm going to use them as an example, just like that movie Argo, because there's so much trickery, but primarily because the Constitution is violated by them, not by me. It's violated by them. That's what they can't see. They do crime and call it law. I considered extortion to be taking from my children money because of a damn sticker. When I mean the basic cost of it, $100, whatever it should have been, for a fine at worst, and let me drive off and show up for court. So if I took that to its end, Casey would have an FTA issue, but she's a good young lady. Shit, they'd have me arrested. They'd have me sit in jail a couple of days. So let's just pretend I was a poor black man and was ignorant, was trying to drive to church to do a singing. Okay, so if that was the situation, they'd done the exact same fact circumstances as they probably did to me. Might have come up with some basis, might have even lawfully arrested them for the gummies, who knows? But either way, that person wouldn't know to be doing all these payment plan maneuvers, all these fights through email just to ensure they don't issue a wrong FTA, the scheduling just to be in court and go to work. They have no idea what people are trying to communicate. The extra $10, I have money now, thank God. But I got so exiled, short as VA stipend. There's days I may not eat if I didn't work. And yet somebody wants me to show up, stand before them, and talk about a payment plan on a ticket. When a couple of years ago, I had $500,000 in the bank, basically 2 houses and access to 5 vehicles, and was running 2 businesses. I did not violate the Constitution. My government's violating the Constitution with their rules. So that's why I'm trying to break through to some of y'all's thick heads and your hard hearts. If there's a rule of man versus the Constitution, God damn the rule of man. I'm going with the Constitution because it's a rule of man, not a rule of God. The Constitution gives us a basic understanding of natural law. Now, then there's some liberties that you may not agree with that I have, and liberties that you have that I may not agree with. Some of those are faith and religion, how you use your money. Okay, I don't want to use my money to be funding Argo and some dude pulling veterans over, taking their gummies for pain. I got degenerative disc disease in my neck, 2 shoulder surgeries, and surgery on my ankle. Some other FOP, and let's get this straight. These cities, when you see this, this is not a constitutional government. And this right here, where it says City of Argo, now, that's not the sheriff's office. This is a corporation. This is an outdoor mall cop type situation. Now, every police officer should be honored, respected, never hurt. We should never steal from a police officer, never threaten a police officer, never hurt, kill, maim, injure, do anything to any officer, any citizen, any human. But the Fraternal Order Police, if they've taken the Kansas City oath, I'm trying to break this through to your thick skulls. Fraternal Order Police brethren commit to financial security and secrecy among the brethren. The sheriff is the only necessary constitutional law enforcement officer. So if they've taken that vow, they are a national socialist. Get that through your mind. Your property, you're in a different class than them, is subject to their confiscating at their will, their rule. That violates the Constitution. So that oath itself is subversive to government. That's why I'm saying we got to purge our city courts and our municipal police of Nazism. Our property is not your property. My time is not your time unless there's probable cause of some crime having been committed. And even then, you have minimums that you have to respect. Check those boxes off and let the people ride. So, no. Ongoing FOP, legislative incompetence, I'm sorry, and sometimes court system incompetence. Our Alabama State Bar has gone corrupt on us. So that's why I quit. I shoved off on them. I got out clean as a whistle, but for behavior regarding words and smells of alcohol. A former cop goes asking me about my drinking and smells of alcohol. I wouldn't have a problem with it, except for the fact he's a Baptist and it's not his place to be judging my religious and dietary issues. Okay, when they don't interfere with the client, while at the same time I got clients asking for me to get back in courts. So I don't plan on going back in courts. I don't want to be in the state second courts. I think about 80% of what they do is based on money and not justice, and I'm tired of the fakeness. So that's my position with regards to Fraternal Order Police. The rule of man, where there's a constitutional bubble, when your rule of man interferes with my civil rights minimums, your rule of man does not transcend the Constitution. I don't give a damn who you are. That's the law in the nation that we live in. Now, if you want to convert this to be some type of aristocratic setup, then that's fine. Just make sure I know that so I know which class system and which master to serve. So I have no problem being a slave of Jesus. I have no problem being a slave of an honorable person if that's the lot God chose for me. But I will not be the slave of a damn municipal corporate police officer who violates the Constitution, period. I'll be doing these things over and over and over again till it breaks through, and I'll be doing the crazy things I'm doing, like creating records just like that right there. It's a stack of records where I filed. One of those is where I filed and sued Google. Others for my show, season number 2. And I've got 8 other boxes of the government audit that I have been conducting since 2019. So if this breaks through your thick skulls and your hard hearts, since I did go to West Point, I did honorably get discharged, complete beast barracks, had all those drill sergeants yell at me. I can tolerate that stuff. Been in the gas chamber. Since I also volunteer as a fireman. Okay. I've represented state trooper, represented police officers. I know the damn law and I know executing on the law. And if this is my civil rights bubble, don't you be invading my bubble to the right of life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness, which includes my private property. So I'm tired of being extorted by corporate America through municipal corporations and the fraternal reports. And that includes through the deputy general counsel signed to my file that has tolerated me being sexually harassed, has tolerated me being stolen from, has tolerated judicial corruption interfering with my rights to see my children. When y'all tolerate that, you become the oppressors. So that's my position. That's my perspective. Trent Garmin, September the 3rd, 2024. B22 is my code handler name. And yeah, I'm conducting a big government audit every time I have an encounter. If I believe there's an opportunity to make a change that I can make, and it's reasonable, I will make that change to the government through my audit. I will always obey the Constitution because unlike y'all, I took an oath at the highest level possible through the Department of Defense, sitting as a cadet at West Point. Don't dare lecture me on the damn Constitution or your rules when you're in violation of both. Peace be with you.